Hey, Max here. Today I want to go through the best budget cards, gold or lower, to start your team off in MUT 20. So we're going to have to take a look first at the grind sheet. And I think everything kind of focuses off of pre-order rewards that you may have gotten. Jalen Ramsey, Jerry Rice. So that takes out a corner wide receiver if you decided to get that Ultimate Superstar Edition. But like a lot of these cards, and then here you'll take cards here too. You'll also get the 82 overalls for playing MUT 17, 18, and 19 before 20. So get a choice of 3 of those if you got those. In order, I'd probably go something like Juju Smith-Schuster, probably Shaq Mason for the right guard, and then maybe DeMarcus Lawrence for 3 of them. You can make an argument for Tyrann Mathieu too. Those would be probably my choices right there, those 4. But you only get 3 choices. Regardless, let's go through what other cards you want to use besides for those that you're going to grind for. So like everything you get here from packs maybe, you can obviously take that out of the grind sheet. But I want to give you a spot at each position, and I want to go through the defenses, both 3-4 and 4-3, for guys that you'll want to grab at each position. So we're going to do golds only, as elites at the start of the game are kind of expensive. So best budget golds, here we go. Oh, by the way, I'll link this spreadsheet in the description again. Like I did a couple videos back when I went over it the first time. So, let's start at the top. Quarterback position. I know MUT Head's filters are a little funky right now. I just hope it doesn't mess up. All right, here we go. The top end quarterbacks are listed right here. Now, you have to decide whether you want a mobile quarterback or statue quarterback. The thing at golds is statue quarterbacks aren't that much better than a few other ones. Like, take a look at Goff. Not exactly a statue. Let's look at somebody who's actually closer to a statue. Stafford, 65 speed. I mean, it's pretty slow. All right, so let's look at Stafford. 86 throw power, which is super nice, but his accuracies are sitting there in the 60s, which is pretty insane. That's tough. So Mariota, he's got 79 speed, not a statue, a scrambler, but look at the accuracies are sitting there in the 70s. Much better than Stafford. So you're going to lose 7 throw power. I can math. I can. But you're going to gain accuracy and mobility there. And then you look at somebody like Dak Prescott's, Dallas's favorite son, and the accuracies don't improve that much over Mariota. And the throwing power is worse, but Mariota's better speed too. So Mariota's clearly a superior choice. So in my opinion, I think Mariota's the best budget gold quarterback we got here. You can take a look at Carson Wentz, and again, the accuracies aren't that much better. The arm strength's only 2 better, and he's slower than Mariota. So in my opinion, Watson here too is slower. Accuracy's pretty similar. Throw power pretty similar. Mariota is my choice. He must have low awareness in order to get to 77, because that's a pretty solid stud gold card. Otherwise, you can go something that's a pure scramble if you want to run nothing but option. 85 speed Lamar Jackson. That's right up there with some of the fastest cards outside of, you know, the wide receivers that we're going to get into, and you know, the John Rosses and cornerbacks of the world, the Dante Jacksons. So moving on from quarterback to running backs, those are my choices there. I'll show you the entire list at the end. Halfbacks. So I'll show you the entire team. If you don't want to hear me ramble on, go ahead and skip to the end, as I'll show off the spreadsheet of a lot of the cards. So, but this is kind of like me going through why I'm choosing these cards. Basically, at halfback, at the gold halfback level, you're not going to break many tackles through standard break tackle. You're not going to be able to truck a lot of guys, even though Derrick Henry is a big human being, a beast of a man. The way these MUT cards are rated, they're not that good. Right? Gold cards, there isn't budget ballers in the sense that these guys can compete with elite cards in like one stat. Obviously, there's some that do that, and that's speed. And with the gold team, with a lot of skill positions, you're okay being beat on like the intelligence skills, the smart ones, the route running, that kind of stuff, especially on defense. But you don't want to be outran, right? You want to have somebody that can keep up, because you need to get your player in position to make a play. Like a lot of the other stats, like tackling, move, stuff like that, that's all like RNG dependent, but you aren't able to trigger those formulas to happen on the tackle stat, any of that, unless you can actually make it to the ball carrier. So that's why our gold team's going to be focused around speed mostly. So at least at the skill position. So that's why our halfback is going to be speed focused, because like even guys that are not speed focused, there's other stats aren't that good. They aren't boosted that much to make up for the speed differences that you're going to face versus other high-end squads. So like this squad that I'm putting together for you could very well easily beat all elite squads, like dominate them early on. You can be in the same footage. You'll feel nerfed because like, oh my god, I only got golds and he's got a bunch of elites. But these players will play above their stats. Tevin Coleman is going to be one of them. Now, like you say, he doesn't have the greatest other stats, but he has speed, agility, acceleration, all in the mid 80s. There's not many people that beat out this card on the pure movement. He's been pretty glitchy for a couple of years now. Was it 2 years ago? I think everybody kind of liked him. McKinnon's okay. Matt Breida, where you at? Let's Breida on Matt Breida. I guess we have to kind of... Oh, there he is. 79 Matt Breida. 85 speed also was very nice. Of course, the elusiveness, trucking, break tackles all low. Can't really catch a cold. But the other one that's a little bit cheaper, that's probably the fastest, or is the fastest running back here at the gold level. 87 speed, Grant. Actually might be the fastest running back in the game. I think he's the fastest running back in the game. 87 speed. But like I said, like look, yeah, low break tackle, low trucking, so you're not going to get many animations go your way. But if you're good on the stick, if you're good at stop and go, if you don't know what the stop and go is, it's where you basically run, and then you let up on your left stick, and then you go another direction and hit right trigger, or go right, go left, and hit right trigger, and you burst off. For like the one cut mechanic was good last year. Stop and go still okay this year from my experience in the beta, but yeah. So if you want like a trucking back, then short yardage, Henry's a big thick boy. Otherwise, you can use a blunt object, trucking 77, but he's really thick, 250. So hot. How much is Henry weighing in at? Henry's weighing at 247. So both of them are fine. Henry's taller for that kind of like man meat going up the middle. At fullback, it is very easy. Fullback, like none of these other gold fullbacks touch Zach Lyon when it comes to lead block, impact block. Lead block, I think, is the more important one. As impact block is defense focused. I don't know why he has 83 impact block, but they gave it to him, so we're going to roll with it. 74 speed is actually pretty decent compared to the rest of these gold fullbacks. Like what we see up to 76 is like the fastest, but his lead block isn't as good. So Zach Lyon is a pure fullback. I'm basically going to use him only in like the I form and the goal line situation. He won't be out there catching passes. If I need a pass received, I'll probably sub in a tight end or sub in a halfback for my fullback if that position's on the field. All right, next up, wide receiver is the position. And like I said, speed is king in Madden, at least at lower levels of cards, and still even at high levels. Speed is what you're going to need. So, let's see. Mudhead added speed tonight so I could do this video. So we're going to sort. Marquise Brown has to be in your top 5. I would probably put him in the slot. Can't really run a route very great, but above 65 route running is all you really need based off previous years. If you can't get over 70, or no, I guess over 75 and then 90. So 75 and 90. So never mind. 67, it ain't great, but nothing really here has glitchy route running. So your two that you're going to want, at least for slot and maybe kick return purposes, John Ross, Marquise Brown. If you don't have the rookie mirror, that's that core rookie. Those are two you'll want. Goodwin, solid. Grant, I think, has actually got pretty good kick return. I don't know if it's on the Mudhead screen. It doesn't really matter. I don't even know what kick return does, that stat. Perriman is nice because he's tall, 86. But I think I maybe go with DK Metcalf first, right? His run blocking, it's low, 43, but like so many of the other guys, can I speak? Have similar run blocking, so I don't know what to say. Run blocking for wide receivers seems kind of nerfed this year. They're all around that same thing. But DK Metcalf is big, which I like him. So 86 speed at 6'3", just a large specimen of a human being. 85 jump. So if height matters this year, DK Metcalf is one of them you want. Otherwise, Robbie Anderson at 85 speed at 6'3". Maybe put those guys on the flanks, and then like your slot can be either Brown, Goodwin, or Ross, and then you can just go with that. Otherwise, if you want somebody to run a crossing route, I think you got to put in Brown or Ross and just have them run the crossing route. But dude, height feels like it matters, especially with the loft of the ball from the quarterback. Having a higher target's always better than a shorter one. All right, moving on to tight end. So I don't run the ball a ton. And there are some guys here that have decent run block, but since I'm mostly a passer, the two that I'm going to recommend are Evan Ingram, 81 speed tight end, glitchy. That's as fast as George Kittle, and his run block's a little bit low at 57, so not great for run blocking. And O.J. Howard, 78 speed tight end, 6'6" and 6'3". So O.J. Howard's your high point. Spec catch is only 73, which causes issues. You could argue you could go with like someone like Ebron with a little higher spec catch, but he's 2 inches shorter, so it kind of washes out there. But like higher run block guys like Trey Burton might be there. Otherwise, you can always sub in tackles to run block for you. If you know you're gonna run, you can just run over them right there. But those are kind of my choices. OJ and Ingram just due to size and speed for your offensive passing attack. Otherwise, you will have to be cognizant. You can't really run behind them that well. And all right, so your offensive line, left tackle, Charles. Where's Leno? The hell? Where'd Leno go? Did I miss a Leno? Oh, yeah, because it's sorted by speed. I was like, what, shouldn't he be near the top? Yeah, okay. So left tackle sorted by speed. And let's sort again. I think it takes 2 sorts. Nope. Sort one more time? No, shoot. Overall. There we go. So, offensive linemen, there are no really budget studs because they're all almost like given stats, like purely based off their overall. But I will say, maybe go with the run block guys. Leno, I think, is the best one you want to go here in case you need to run behind him. I think pass block is very random and RNG dependent. If you go against like high-end pass blockers or high-end pass rushers like Aaron Donald, it doesn't matter if your pass block is 77 or 80 with these golds. You're going to get shedded very quickly because that's just how good Donald is. So high run block is what I went with for the offensive lineman. But, of course, if you do pass the ball 90%, 80%, maybe even 70% of the time, maybe you want to switch to pass blocking offensive lineman. And you can always sub in one for the other. So get rid of Charles Leno just on the run blocking downs, and then you can sub in somebody with high pass block, power, pass block, finesse, which you don't really see here. Yeah, it's kind of disappointing. There's not a lot of like studs like there used to be. They're like minor studs, but those are not actually like studs. Some positions have studs, others do not. Skill positions have studs. Left guard, again, somebody with bad run blocking is no thank you. Saffold is great run blocker. I look at run block and pass block power and pass block finesse because run block is what beats block shed, and then pass block power, pass block finesse goes against pass rushing power and pass rush finesse moves. So I'm going to go with Saffold for my left guard. Let's just do all 3 of them here at the bottom. Center, right guard, and right tackle. My right guard is Winters. My center is Cody Whitehair. Where do you go? Cody. There he is, 78. Run block, 78. And then my right tackle is Heavenstein. There it is. 82 run block. Lower pass blocking. So you could argue the tackles need to have better pass blocking, but they're not bad. McGlinchey's got bad pass blocking too. That's why I went with Havenstein. All right, so those are my that's my offense. Okay. Next up is defense. Let's do left end and right end. I believe they're kind of near the top of the golds. Sheard and Hughes, and our left end and right end. Why? High block shed, okay movement at low 70s speed. You see a lot of the guys, like you see Bosa around there too. You see some elites around there at that low 70s, so it's pretty good. Power move maybe a little bit less than you like to see at 74, and finesse move here at Jerry Hughes at 79. So obviously not the greatest, but then again, they don't have much competition that really competes with them there. All of the competition they're going to face, like I think Frank Clark has the highest power move and finesse move of all golds at 80, but you can't really start him with 54 block shed. You could bring him in for pass rushing downs, and maybe I suggest getting yourself a Frank Clark and then putting him into your nickel package as a pass rushing defensive tackle. And I think you can work very well with Frank Clark there. So he's a budget stud for pass rushing with 80 power move right off the bat. But I think that the every down guys, you're going to want to have block shed and decent pass rush moves. So Sheard and Hughes are the ones to go with right there as your ends for your defense. And I think, like as we all know in previous years, Sheard and Hughes have played very well over their overalls. Some of the best kind of budget ends throughout Madden history. So it looks like it's continuing. For defensive tackle, I went almost purely block shed. Lawrence Guy, I believe, might have. Oh, let's do this. Rating, block shedding. Let's see what the defensive tackle, block shed descending. So yeah, Lawrence Guy is by far and away the best block shedding and defensive tackle. So that's why he's my number one defensive tackle. 3-4 and 4-3, Lawrence Guy is going to be on your team, okay? So your ends and Lawrence Guy do not change. So your down linemen, because of the way Madden plays, where weight isn't as big of a deal as, say, block shedding, that I think Sheard, Hughes, and Guy all want to be your defensive linemen in a 3-4. And then in a 4-3, you just go ahead and add Vita Vea, this thick boy, okay block shed versus compare, like 347 pounds. So he's just an absolute monster of a man. He's tall and thick, and he's got good block shed comparatively to, one of the top ones between 72 71 here. So that would be the 4-3 anchor, would be Vita Vea. So if you're in a 4-3, what kind of outside linebacker should you use? You're going to use guys that can play a little bit of zone coverage, play off the ball a little bit. It does not look like tier gold. Doesn't look like that got taken. All right, let's go to overall. There we go. Right? Oh, that didn't work. Having some issues here. All right, whatever. It is sorting my overall. All right, so you're going to want drop linebackers, guys that are fast, that can move side to side, to stop the tosses and kind of stop the passes too. So you're going to want pure speed. And for that purpose, I guess we should just go by speed then. What are we doing? Speed. We got the need. We should have done this right away. Because these guys need to be absolute monsters. I think Montez Sweat needs to be your right outside linebacker and almost needs to be your user. This guy is an absolute monster of a human being. 6'6" with 82 speed. This is a god tier user. The problem is you can't really catch, so you might have issues with the animations. And if it stresses you out enough, because everybody's gonna have issues with the animations in 20 because they nerfed it hard, you can maybe get somebody with better catching, but I don't know. It's tough to replicate this. You know, his only downside is he's got pretty low agility, so moving side to side as a user you'll have a tough time. But 6'6", you can't teach height, just like you can't teach speed except through steroids. The left outside linebacker, I'm gonna go with Baker here. So Baker, obviously you see no power moves, finesse moves. You cannot pass rush this outside linebacker. He is definitely much more of a 4-3 linebacker. 80 speed, 6'2". It is what it is. You could go with Olukan as a out of the position left outside linebacker, but I'm gonna go with Baker. He's got better block shed than Forsyth. I can't even say the name. So yeah, those are my left outside linebacker, right outside linebacker for my 4-3, and then my middle linebacker. You could do something. You could play somebody out of position. You could play like the Bud Dupree, but we're gonna be using like Sweat mostly. So at middle linebacker, we don't even have it selected. I was looking for it. I'm like, where the heck is he? At middle linebacker, Devin Bush. Devin Bush, rookie premier. It is what it is. Obviously, you got the Shaz too. If you get the captain, if you decide to go your captain being Shaz, then you won't need a middle linebacker. You can just use him there. But that's kind of what you want if you don't use the Shaz. All right, moving on to CBs. Oh yeah, for the outside linebackers. So the middle linebacker is Devin White and Devin Bush or Shaz. For your 3-4 would be White and Bush. All right. Here we go. All right. So for the outside linebackers for a 4-3, let's go back to the 3-4. 3-4 outside linebackers are going to be based off pass rushing skills. So you're going to want to have. They're not on this page, are they? You could argue. You could put somebody like at Sweat there too. He's not going to really get after the passer that well, but he's big and he's fast, so he can still kind of set the edge and get to running backs out there. But I like pass rushers, so I'll just say their names. I mean, Dupree's okay, not that great. Bradley Chubb and Cameron Wake will be your outside linebackers for in the 3-4, the gold outside linebackers. All right, for the cornerbacks, we're going to have the same cornerbacks for 3-4 and 4-3. You are also going to be by speed. Dante Jackson should be your number one, hands down. 86 speed, keeps up with wide receivers. You are going to be facing a lot of speed wide receivers early on in the year before we figure out which ones, which abilities are glitchy, everything. It's always a speed year right away. So Jackson and Brown are the two I suggest right off the bat. You can see their speed is high, and they got okay other stats, a little bit better zone than, say, Jonathan Jones. But Jonathan Jones is a fine, number 3. Especially if you blitz at 86 speed off the edge. It's going to be faster than almost anybody else out there trying to block him. So that's not bad for, a nickel blitz type guy. And then I would also go, you can go one of these 3. Probably Shaquille Griffin, though, as your number 4 corner if you ever go dollar. Easy peasy, right? I didn't see any stats here on guys who lower speed, like Adoree Jackson, that I'd want to have over the guys I have here. You could argue the extra agility on Adoree Jackson up to 86 is important over somebody like Anthony Brown, and I would agree. Giving up 2 speed for, 9 agility might definitely be worth it. And yeah, I'm actually not going to argue with that at all. I'm not going to argue with you about that. So, moving on. Free safety and strong safety. Again, these guys are pretty dumb. They won't react. They won't have 90 zone. They won't be 91 zone and 18. So what's going to happen is that when the ball is thrown, you're basically going to have to, let them catch it and rally, right? These guys are going to be basically cones out there. And the way the game is coded is that they're cones out there anyways. So like even higher zone players are going to be cones out there. So you just want fast cones. Once the ball is caught, once the guys are around the edge, you want guys that can catch up to the ball and make a play on the ball carrier. So your safeties are going to be Colbert here. I like Colbert, 6'2" also. Tall is always a nice thing to have. Colbert, you could say Savage. Maybe Savage as a sub linebacker and a nickel package as a user. Solid. You could also put Colbert as the user. Nicholson's fine too. But I think the one you want is this Obi Meliwanfu. 6'4", 83 speed. I really hope they have golden tickets this year because this should be one. 6'4", strong safety. Love it. So Obi, bad zone. Again, another solid user. Probably something I want to use it right away. So yeah, 6'4", 83 speed. Almost as glitchy as 6'6", what, 82 speed was it? How much was he 82 for sweet or not? Oops, forward. He was 82 speed at 6'6", so 84 at 6'4", or 682 at 6'6". But that's the roster. Let me switch over. Let me bring you over to the budget squad on the screen. Here it is. All of them combined. The list going down, baby. Your street in a Range Rover. That should be a J. What the hell? How'd that get backwards? So there you go. Enjoy. I hope you guys like it. Thanks for watching Call to Action. I'll see you tomorrow.